The sun peeked through my window, but I was already awake. Today was the big day, the storage auction. I had $250 saved, ready for a new adventure. My friend said these auctions were like treasure hunts. You bid on a storage unit not knowing what's inside. The mystery was exciting, but I was nervous too. I put on my lucky blue jacket, grabbed my wallet and keys, and headed out. Finally, I saw the sign, Self-Storage City. Long rows of metal doors like secret boxes. I parked, took a deep breath, and joined the crowd. My heart beat faster as the auction was about to start. The adventure was about to begin. I was ready. The auction place buzzed with energy. People milled around, some pros with clipboards, others just curious like me. The auctioneer, tall and loud in a cowboy hat, explained the rules. Look, bid, buy, no touching, no stepping inside. He snapped the lock off the first unit. The metal door rolled up, revealing old office furniture. The pros weren't interested. Bidding started low and ended quickly. The next unit was stacked with boxes. Total mystery. Bidding was faster, and it sold for $300. I kept my money in my pocket, waiting for the right unit. I wanted something special. I had my eye on Unit 73 at the end of the row. I waited, heart pounding for my chance. The auctioneer finally called for Unit 73. My heart skipped a beat. This was it. Unit 73, my gut told me this was the one. The auctioneer snapped the lock and rolled up the door. Inside, an old wooden dresser, a tall lamp with a quirky shade, several sealed boxes, and at the back, a large shape under a dark blanket. The bidding started at $50. A man with a clipboard jumped in. I raised my hand, 100. The man countered, 150. I went to 200. The bidding bounced back and forth. 210, 220, 240. I was at my limit. The auctioneer looked at me. 250? I took a deep breath, raised my hand, and called out my final bid. The man with the clipboard shook his head. Sold. For $250 to the young man in the blue jacket. I'd won. My heart raced. I couldn't believe it. The crowd moved on, but I stood there stunned and thrilled. This unit was mine. I clutched the keys, excitement and nerves mixing inside me. I'd spent all my money, but the adventure was just beginning. I wondered what stories and secrets waited inside. I was ready to find out. I took a moment to savor the win. My first auction, my first victory. I was about to open the door to a new story. I felt lucky and a little bit brave. The real adventure was about to start. I stepped forward, keys in hand. I paid, got the keys, and stood alone in front of Unit 73. The crowd was gone. It was just me and the big metal door. I slid the key into the lock, heart pounding. The door rolled up, sunlight spilling inside. The air smelled of dust and old memories. I stepped in, my first real look. The dresser was scratched but beautiful. The lamp's orange shade looked even funnier up close. Boxes labeled kitchen stuff, books, and one with just a question mark sat in the middle. The back of the unit was darker, the big blue blanket draped over something mysterious. I flicked on my phone's flashlight. The blanket covered a large, lumpy shape. My imagination ran wild. What could it be? I touched the blanket, feeling the weight of the moment. But first, I decided to start with the boxes. The adventure was real now. I was inside the story, not just watching from the doorway. Each item felt like a clue. I was ready to discover what secrets this unit held. The mystery under the blanket could wait. I took a deep breath, ready to begin. The real treasure hunt had started. I started with the boxes, seemed logical. The one marked kitchen stuff held pretty plates, glasses, and pans, nothing valuable, but useful. Next, the heavy box labeled books. The smell of old paper filled the air. Inside worn novels, some famous, some unknown. Tucked between books, a black and white photo album. A smiling family at the beach and gardens at birthdays. It felt personal, like peeking into someone's memories. The box with the question mark was full of old toys, a wooden train, a button-eyed teddy bear, metal toy cars. I imagined the little girl from the photos playing with them. Each item told a story. I sorted through more boxes, clothes, records, a box of letters tied with ribbon. It was like piecing together a life. No gold or jewels, but plenty of history. I was tired and dusty, but fascinated. The real reward was the experience. Only one thing left, the big mysterious shape under the blue blanket. I felt a mix of excitement and nerves. The best part of the adventure was still waiting. I wiped my hands, ready for the final reveal. The blanket seemed to hold all the secrets. I took a deep breath. Time to see what was hidden at the back. The moment had come. I walked to the back, grabbed the heavy blue blanket, and pulled. Underneath, a massive old wooden chest, dark wood, iron straps, a huge rusty lock. It looked like a pirate's treasure chest. My heart leapt. No key and the lock was solid. I tried a butter knife from the kitchen box, no luck. I searched the unit and found a small red toolbox behind the dresser. Inside, rusty screwdrivers and a hammer. I took a thin screwdriver, worked it into the lock, wiggled and pushed. Click, another click. Then, with a clang, the lock popped open. My hands shook as I lifted the lid. The chest was lined with faded red fabric, smelling of age and secrets. At first, just old papers and documents. But the papers were wrapped around small, heavy bundles tied with string. I picked one up, untied it, and unwrapped the crinkly paper. Inside, a small silver box, decorated with flowers and vines. I opened it, old coins, silver and gold, with strange markings. More bundles, a pocket watch, stamps from around the world, delicate porcelain figures. Each item was carefully packed, clearly cherished. At the bottom, a thick, leather-bound diary. The handwriting was elegant, the story of a man who traveled the world and collected treasures. I realized I hadn't just found objects, I'd found someone's life story. The chest was a real treasure in every sense. I sat back, amazed at what I'd discovered. My hands trembled as I explored the chest's contents. Each bundle revealed something new: coins, a pocket watch, stamps, porcelain figures. These weren't just things, they were memories packed with care. The diary at the bottom told the story of Arthur, a man who traveled the world and collected treasures for his family. The coins and keepsakes were meant for his daughter, the little girl from the photos. I realized I'd uncovered not just valuables, but a family's lost history. The chest was a time capsule, a window into another life. I felt honored to have found it. The adventure had become something much bigger than I expected. I sat quietly, absorbing the weight of the discovery. I wondered what to do next. The story wasn't over yet. I knew I had a responsibility now. This was more than just luck. It was a chance to do something right. I closed the chest gently, thinking about the family who once owned it. The real treasure was the story itself. I was determined to find out what happened to them. The next step was clear. I had to try to return these memories to their rightful owners. The adventure wasn't finished. I sat on the dusty floor, surrounded by treasure and memories, excitement mixed with a sense of responsibility. The diary revealed Arthur's wish to pass these treasures to his daughter. I wondered what happened to her. Selling the coins was tempting, but it felt wrong. These were family memories, not just valuables. I took the diary and photo album home, determined to learn more. Days passed as I read Arthur's story and searched online for his family. It was like being a detective. Public records, old phone books, anything that might help. Finally, I found a match. Arthur's granddaughter, Eleanor, living just a few hours away. I called her, explained what I'd found. She was silent, then started to cry. Her family had lost track of the storage unit years ago after her mother, the little girl in the photos, passed away. They thought everything was lost forever. She was overjoyed. We made plans to meet. I packed the chest and prepared for the next chapter of the adventure. Returning these memories felt like the right thing to do. I was nervous, but excited to bring the story full circle. The real treasure was about to be returned. I realized this was the best ending I could hope for. The adventure had changed me. I was grateful for the chance to do something good. The story was almost complete. I set out to meet Eleanor, chest in tow. I hoped she would find joy in these rediscovered memories. The journey had been worth every moment. I was ready for the final chapter. I met Eleanor, Arthur's granddaughter, the next weekend. Her eyes filled with tears when she saw the chest. We opened it together, and she shared stories about each item. The pocket watch belonged to her great-grandfather. Every piece had meaning. Seeing her happiness was better than any reward. She insisted I keep a gold coin and the funny orange lamp. The coin was from Arthur's travels in South America, a piece of the adventure for me. I realized the real treasure wasn't money, but the story and connection. I'd gone to the auction hoping for riches, but found something far more valuable. The adventure, the memories, and doing the right thing were the true rewards. Sometimes the best treasure is the story you find. I learned that trying new things leads to unexpected adventures. You might not find gold, but you'll always find a story. I keep the coin and lamp as reminders. I'm already saving for my next auction. Who knows what secrets wait behind the next door? The adventure never really ends. I'm grateful for the lesson and the memories, and I'm ready for whatever comes next.